I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce. What's up, everybody? Happy Thursday night or Friday morning if you're watching this tomorrow morning. Sean Green from the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is here as always. We're going to do a quick reaction to the Thursday night game. I think I feel like I'm kind of getting branded as a Patriots hater the last two times I talked about them, but I didn't think that was a very impressive win. Did you?
Yeah, I mean, again, Drake May looked really comfortable back there, which I think was good, but yeah, they didn't. They hung around. I mean, it's hard to give them that much shit. You won by 13 against a division opponent, so you did your job. It'll be interesting to see, and that's why the Pats were a tough team to figure out, right? Like I didn't like their win total over coming into the season. I thought they would make a leap next year, but they're certainly ahead of schedule. I mean, Drake May playing really well, and the schedule is super favorable for him. You look at like who they've played, who they have left. They're going to be a really interesting team come playoff time because I don't think they're going to be really tested. Obviously, they have another game against the Bills. So, yeah, I mean, they're looking good, but I think some of these experienced AFC teams will get them in the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying. And it's not – Drake May is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And some of the plays where he extends it and then finds somebody and truly, like, plays that only 3 or 4 guys in the league make. So, like, Drake May is the man. He's as good as advertised. Nothing overhyped about that. And honestly – it's really more outside of that. I'm not sure how strong New England is. I mean, that team can't run the ball.
Yeah. I mean, look at that Will Campbell. I was a little skeptical of them starting 2 rookies on their offensive line. And Will Campbell's had some good moments, but he also was kind of getting his ass kicked a couple times, got called for an obvious penalty. And Kramer, my co-host, we were watching the game together. He's like, it's the short arms. He couldn't reach out to stop Will McDonald on the pass rush. So I want to see, Will Campbell against some of the elite pass rushers that I'll see in the playoffs. Again, I think they're certainly ahead of schedule, but I'm not saying, lock them up. But the AFC is pretty interesting. I mean, you got the Colts up there at the top. Obviously, the Chiefs aren't going anywhere. The Broncos, great record. They look horrible as of the past couple of games. So it's going to be pretty interesting, the AFC playoffs.
Yeah. I personally, I don't know if I think the New England defense is good. I know we all talk about their elite run defense. Look at their last 5 opponents.
You can throw on them. And certainly I was off. I thought the Bucs would be able to throw on them, and they did. Ibuka had a nice game, but it wasn't enough. What I missed that was the Bucs not being able to stop Trevion Henderson. And if he's going to continue to develop, that certainly makes their life easier. But I think the back end of the Pats secondary super I think
the whole defense is vulnerable. I mean, the Jets averaged 5 yards per carry tonight, and if you look at their opponents, I was talking about this yesterday. Their last 5 opponents are Titans, Saints, Browns. Bucks haven't been able to run the ball all year, but they did on the Patriots. The Falcons haven't been able to run the ball all year. They've played so many teams that can't run the ball anyway. I don't think the Patriots defense is good. But
I'm skeptical of that. But again, Drake May is elevating them to certainly definitely better than I thought coming into the season.
Oh, yeah. He's like top 3 or 4 at the position right now. Let's get into Bengals Steelers. You're taking the points.
Yes. Give me. I feel like I've picked the Steelers a bunch on this show, much to my chagrin sometimes, and nailed some spots for them. I like fading Tomlin as a big favorite here. 5.5 is way too much for the Steelers team. We all know how bad the Bengals defense is, right? Which I agree, they're not good, but at least they are coming off a bye here. Maybe they fixed a couple things. If you listen to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, they are just going to eat up this Steelers secondary. And I think, I don't know if it's going to be quite as wild as that game we saw last time on Thursday night in Cincinnati, but man, this feels like it's going to be a field goal game. How could I not be interested in taking 5.5 points with this Bengals team? And Joe Flacco's playing at a good enough level here. And even the Bengals themselves are saying this is a must-win game. I just don't trust this Steelers team and this Steelers secondary to lay 5.5 points at home. So yeah, give me the Bengals plus 5.5.
I don't think the Bengals offense is going to have the same success. I'm not on the Steelers though. So it was just such a pretty clear game plan in that Thursday night game. Joe Flacco got the ball out and averaged 2.26 seconds. It was the same thing over and over again. Underneath throw, underneath throw, underneath throw. He attempted 3 passes of 20 or more yards out of 49 dropbacks. So it's supposed to be a really windy day. I think Tomlin's going to be aggressive here and get up on the line of scrimmage. I think they're going to dare the Bengals to take the shots, and I'm not sure if that's what Flacco wants to do. He wants to dink and dunk, and I actually think the Steelers' defense is going to play a good game here. And on the other side, though, I don't think the Steelers' offense is good. I mean, the Bengals are weak to the tight end. They've allowed a bunch of tight end touchdowns, so maybe that's how they get them. To your point, I just see there's a lot of versions of this game where it ends up being a field goal. Yeah, I won't be laying 5.5 with Tomlin, but
yeah,
I think no one would expect this one after what we saw. I think under 49.5 is the way to go in this one.
It is pretty high for a game in Pittsburgh in late November.
It's supposed to be pretty windy too, and I think both teams are going to be aggressive, and I don't think either quarterback wants to throw the ball downfield. Aaron Rodgers hasn't been throwing the ball downfield as much. I don't think neither quarterback has been throwing the ball downfield anyway.
No, and to your point, Aaron Rodgers, man, he feels like he doesn't want to get hit. And I know the Bengals defense hasn't been great, but if they can get any kind of pass rush on him, he is dying to get rid of the ball and does not want to stay in that pocket. Where Joe Flacco seems to, hey, he's going to take some shots, so be it. Shoot me up. This is my last ride. I'd much rather have Flacco here, honestly.
Ready for this comment? Sorry, Kyle, you're great, but there's been so much losing, I'm going to have to unsubscribe. I'm 18-4 in my last 22 picks, Sean. I'm 18.
Come on.
I'm 18.
Come on.
That's the definition of, man, when someone's a bad gambler, you could be the best in the world. They're still going to lose. They're still going to find ways to lose.
You can only take a horse to water. You can't show them how to drink these winners up.
18-4 ain't good enough. That's not cutting it.
No, if anything, it's like 18-4. I'm getting scared as a guy because it's like, hey, if you've been gambling long enough, you know, hey, you have good runs and then it cools off a little bit and then you get back in the good run. It's a game of runs, especially. So yeah. To be mad at the 4 losses right now is insane.
Yeah, and also I'm pretty sure I had Old Dominion under and Jets plus 13.5. So I picked them all right tonight. What is he even talking about?
What do you want?
All right, next game. Seattle Rams. But yeah, I think I was actually considering going under on that one. Just based on I think we're getting a couple extra points based on what we saw Thursday night. I think we're going to see both defenses aggressive. Yes, even the Bengals defense. What about how awesome of a football game is this, by the way? Seattle, LA.
Now, maybe this is me like talking myself into a play because I'm just going to be so excited to watch this game. But yeah, give me the Rams laying 3 at home. I understand Seattle. They've been looking awesome. I made the mistake of thinking the Cardinals could hang around. But also, too, like those 2 defensive touchdowns completely blew up any chance they had there. Defensively, the weakness for the Seahawks is allowing receptions to the tight end. And this is kind of what – if you've been following, the Rams have been running a ton of 12 and 13 personnel, and it's really opened things up for them. And I think it's going to be a tough matchup for this Seahawks defense. And then how can we not look at how Sam Darnold did against this Rams team those last 2 games at the end of the season, both the playoff game and then one of the regular season games towards the end of the season. The Rams really had a great defensive plan for Sam Darnold. And yeah, hats off. Darnold is looking really good. I don't think he's going to end up becoming an MVP, but certainly hats off to him. And in general, the Seattle defense has exceeded expectations as well. But I love this Rams defensive line. I love this Rams defensive line. I think Matt Stafford is the guy that should be getting a little bit more MVP loved and some of these other guys, he's playing lights out. And I think they're going to be able to run the ball enough on them. And I think this game is going to come down to the Rams' ability to turn over Sam Darnold. They have a history of it, and I think they're going to be able to get to him. And, yeah, so give me the Rams laying 3 at home.
Yeah, I can get on board with that. This isn't one I have a bet on or anything, but I said it would either be Rams or under. I think 48.5 is a little high. I know that it's tough going under with like two of the best offenses in the NFL.
But the defenses have been
exactly, great. Yeah. And I really think the Rams defense is equipped to give Seattle all kinds of problems. We've seen the Rams are actually first in the NFL in time to pressure. You can make the argument that the Rams have the best pass rush in the NFL. Legitimately, they're at the very least top 5 in terms of a pass rush. And we've seen Sam Darnold against 2 elite pass rushes this year.
Yes,
his 2 worst games of the season.
Yes,
Pittsburgh and Houston.
That doesn't feel like that doesn't feel like, and even look at that 49ers game. Why did they blow that 49ers game? Because of the pressure Bosa was able to get on it.
And what's his name? Woolen got cooked like 3 times in a row in the last drive.
Well, he's no longer there. So yeah. Or no longer playing.
Sam Darnold's worst 2 games of the year were the 2 times he saw elite pass rushes in Steelers and Texans. And the Rams pass rush has been so good, and they do it without sending extra rushers, which is always huge in today's NFL if you're able to generate pressure without sending anybody extra. So I think the Rams pass rush can give them some problems. Seattle can't really run the ball anyway, not really much of an efficient run game. Certainly shouldn't be able to run the ball on the Rams defense. So I like the matchup for the Rams defense. I also like how the Rams, the only time they've had problems is quarterbacks that dink and dunk it. They've been good against the downfield throws. That's all Sam Darnold wants to do is throw it downfield. And so I think it's a tough matchup for Darnold and the Seahawks offense. I'm not as confident on the other side of the ball in the Rams offense. I think the Seahawks defensive line is the real deal.
They're also pretty good, yeah. No, I think this is going to be like a 24-17 type game. To your point, you liking the under. I could definitely see that. NFC West battle here. It should be a very good game, and maybe that's why I'm inclined to have a strong opinion on it, just because I want to lock in on a big game. But yeah, Seattle's defense certainly played really good. But I think you nailed the thing that I'm gravitating to the most. It's just Sam Darnold versus elite pass rushers, and you also triggered me bringing up that Steelers game where Caleb Johnson just did not field. I was on the Steelers, of course, because Tomlin was a home dog. I autoplay those. And Caleb Johnson not recovering. And Darnold, for as well as they've been playing, he's had some turnover issues. He had a ton in that Texans game. It didn't end up mattering. He had a bunch in that Steelers game. Didn't end up mattering. I think it's going to matter here.
Yeah, I'm on board on that side of the ball. And honestly, if we're trying to poke holes in the Seahawks defense, I think the defensive line it might be the best in the NFL. I don't think the Rams are going to be able to run the ball. But the question I have, how good do we think the Seahawks secondary is? Look at the quarterbacks they've seen this year.
Yeah.
Like Baker Mayfield cooked them roasted them up. Other than that, who's the best quarterback they've seen? Rodgers? I mean, maybe Brock Purdy in the opener, which, by the way, they lost that game.
Yeah.
I think the Seahawks secondary, it's injured. I think it's not nearly it. The Seahawks defensive front, I'm buying stock. But the Seahawks secondary, I don't think it's as good as the numbers show.
Yeah, and I think it obviously the D-line can kind of carry them, right? You're getting a ton of pressure. You're getting in quarterback's face. You can get by with a less than great secondary. We see that all the time. But then the Rams offensive line, I think, is going to give Stafford a fighting chance. Certainly the Seahawks defensive line is good, but I like McVay to draw some stuff up and keep him clean.
Yeah, and Stafford also is a guy who gets the ball out quickly too. So
yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next game. I kind of think you're on the wrong side of this one, but I don't feel very strongly about it. But I kind of was thinking Minnesota at under a field. Did you get Bears +3?
Yeah, Bears +3, but I still will play this at Bears +2.5. I think they're live on the money line. I just don't think JJ McCarthy should be a favorite right now against a competent team. And this Bears team, I get it. Everyone says, oh, they're a fraud. And I see that argument for this Bears team, but this is a pretty good matchup for this Bears team. And I just go back to JJ McCarthy. They set like a franchise record, 13 penalties, 3 turnovers, 3 for 14 on third down. But really what stood out, 8 false starts at home. You look at JJ McCarthy's home and road splits. Now, maybe it's different for his alter ego 9, but you look at his home and road splits. He's played 4 games. His 2 good games have been on the road. His 2 bad games have been at home. And really, you look at Brian Flores, you think, oh, okay, he's going to be able to dominate this Bears offense. I don't think so, because they did a good job against the Lions. A lot of that, I think, was and I was on the Vikings in that situation. A lot of it was the Lions offensive line getting banged up, losing a bunch of guys in the game, and their ability to, generate pressure. I think Caleb Williams has done a good job for the most part, evading pressure, using his legs, picking up yards on the ground, and the Bears defense is getting healthy. I think this is a good spot for the Bears, and it's the ultimate revenge game. The Bears were up huge against JJ McCarthy. They were dumping the Gatorade after his first victory on Monday night, that comeback. And if I'm a Bears player, if I'm a Bears fan, you got to be fired up for this game. So I like the Bears and the points. I think they're live on the money line.
Okay, so
you're not buying the Bears hype. I get it. A lot of people are just like, I'm not buying the Bears at any price. But this Bears offensive line is good. I'm telling you.
No, it is. Okay. So that's why for my main pick, if you ask me, Kyle, give me what side or total, what you think hits. I think we're going to see both teams. I think both teams believe they can win this game running the football. So yeah. I think under. I do think the Vikings at under a field goal would be my pick as far as a side. So I think the Bears' run defense sucks. I think it's horrible. No TJ Edwards still. There's also, it looks like Jaquan Brisker might not play in this game at safety. I think the Bears' run defense, it's the reason that it's kind of being hitted right now is they played recent games against the Giants and Bengals and Saints, and earlier in the season they couldn't stop anybody on the ground. And without TJ Edwards, I think this is one of the worst run defenses in the NFL. So although I'm not looking to go buy a JJ McCarthy rookie card or anything, I think the Vikings are going to hand the ball off, and I don't think there's a damn thing the Bears can do to stop it. Now, on the other side, the Bears offensive line is generating push, so maybe the Bears can run the ball right back, which is why I think the under would be the way to go. Not necessarily because I think the defenses are going to make stops, because I think we're going to see 5-6 minute drives here on both sides. And I don't really trust either quarterback to finish these drives. I think we could see a lot of field goals in this game. I think the Vikings are the better team, and if you can get the better team at home under a field goal, you take it. But I didn't take any. I think unders be my.
Also, the Bears have had the ability to generate turnovers. How did they get back into that game against the Giants? They lit up Jackson Dart, RIP, and got the fumble. And what is JJ McCarthy? One of his biggest issues, turnovers. 4 games, 6 interceptions. This Bears defense thrives on that. And you're right, they can't slow down the run. But at some point, JJ McCarthy is going to have to either throw the ball or run. And I think they're going to be able to turn him over. I think they turn over McCarthy twice. And I think that ends up being the difference in the game.
What are your thoughts on the growing narrative that JJ McCarthy owns the Bears?
Well, he's had 4 games.
Too soon.
What? No, one was against the Bears.
He came back and beat the Bears. Remember?
I know, and that's what I'm saying. That the Bears have to have that in their mind. They had that pick 6. I think they intercepted him twice, maybe. I don't remember. I know they had the pick 6 because I was feeling pretty good as a Bears backer after the pick 6, because it's tough to lose a game at home when you get a defensive touchdown, but they figured out a way to do it. I think they've been thinking about this game for a while, so they've had this one circled.
Bears fans' worst nightmare would be JJ McCarthy owning them after everything they've been through.
Yes. Can we have other NFC North quarterbacks stop owning us?
And then, Jordan Love starting to it's like the Bears' worst nightmare is a JJ McCarthy owns the Bears narrative. There'd be problems in Chicago.
Set my people free.
Yeah.
Hashtag Bears freedom.
I think I might bet that under. Lions Eagles. I'm on the under in this one, but I got an awesome number. But I can't even remember. I'm assuming birds, right?
Oh, yeah. Let's go. Go Birds. Love the Eagles at home here in this spot. You got the Lions secondaries kind of banged up. But really, I went to that. I was at that game in
how
last
was that,
week.
By the way?
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, I know everyone who watched on TV was bitching and moaning, complaining.
I thought it was hold on real quick. Can't stand that, man. I think we talked about this one time.
Yeah, there's a difference between good defense and totally inept offense. And maybe it was just a guy who was in the stands watching. I thought the defenses
I thought it was a fun game.
Played good. Well, yeah, and it was a tight, fun, cold weather game.
Yeah, and honestly, like in those shootout games, it's just not the way football is meant to be played. The biggest play of the game should not be a punt.
No.
If you're watching a 48-45 game, the biggest play is a punt. That was like the biggest play of the game. You watch like a 17-16 game, the biggest play is that touchdown to take the lead. That's just perfect proof that the NFL fans are going to complain. No,
yeah,
they complained that there was nothing. That the NFL was boring, so they changed the rules to help the offense. Then they complained that they couldn't play defense in the rules. Yeah. Then they see a defensive game, they complain that it's boring. They're a crazy group of people.
No, the Eagles' defensive line, now that they got Nolan Smith back, now that they got Jalen Phillips back, they are going to be a handful. And the Lions' offensive line dealing with injuries. Aiden Hutchinson was missing some practice. I think Hutch goes. I think, their line will be competent. But we've seen Jared Goff outdoors dealing with a pass rush is not where he thrives. And I think this Eagles defense is going to be able to slow up the Lions. And I think the Eagles passing game is going to be able to take advantage of, stuff they got going on the back end. So I think I feel pretty good about this game. Everyone got a full practice in today for the Eagles except Cam Jurgens. He's still limited. I kind of think Cam Jurgens goes, but certainly if they can get him back, look out. But really, to me, it's all about just what I saw to Jalen Phillips, Nolan Smith, getting Brandon Graham a couple snaps. This defense is deep and just looks really good right now. So I feel good about the defense keeping the Eagles in this game. I think this is another 24-14 type matchup. It's going to be a little higher scoring than the Packers game, but I still think it's not going to be some crazy sort of shootout, but I do think the Eagles are going to be able to throw on.
Yeah, I took two look ahead lines before last week. I got the under here at 49.5.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, awesome one. And then I'm big on the Titans, but I got plus 7.5, but I think the Titans might win.
You're a crazy bastard.
Nah, this is it's down to 5.5 now. Titans are winning that game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love laying points on the road with Davis Mills, but that Texans defense could turn over our buddy Cam Ward. But we'll see.
We will see. As far as this game, so the game that really stands out to me is the Baltimore game where Detroit went on the road to Baltimore. It was a Monday Night Football game, and it was the first time I noticed it. And I've since picked up on it, and I keep checking. It keeps staying true. So we've seen the Lions now play 3 of these big games, and what they were doing is running the most intentional slow pace ever. In that Ravens game, I don't know if I've ever seen anyone make it so blatant where Jared Goff, they would run the ball 6 yards, 2nd and 4. He was sitting there staring at the play clock, waiting for it to say 5 to start the cadence. As if Dan Campbell was like, you do not snap that ball until it says 1. So what that showed me was this Lions team is making it a point to move as slowly as possible. It's clear that in these road games, they want to control the clock. They want to hold on to the ball as long as possible. So I was checking it out, and the Lions significantly slower pace on the road this year. So here we are in another huge game against the Eagles. I feel like the game plan for the Lions from Dan Campbell, run the ball, hold on to the ball. And they're playing the Eagles, who are the kings of that. The Eagles are the kings of running super slow pace, running the ball. I just feel like the clock is never going to stop in this game. And I'm not even sure how much I trust the defenses to make stops. These are 2 really good offenses. It's more just the pace of the game. It's going to be tough to get up to 50 points with this slow of a football game. So, yeah, I'm big on this under. It's hard to argue with the Eagles at under a field goal. The Eagles just came through for me against. Oh, yeah, we both had them, obviously.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll put Eagles up because under a field goal, it would be Eagles, but.
Come on, hop on. Go Birds, baby. Link will be rocking.
You don't think what Dan Campbell did in Baltimore was a little impressive, though? That was a really nice win, and I feel like this year's Lions team is a little bit more gritty.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this defense is going to be able to handle the Lions offense. You're going to see Jared Goff, I don't think is going to be able to handle the pressure this Eagles defense is going to bring. And they were getting home with 4. I know the Packers have some issues with their offensive line, but so do the So do the Lions. I mean, you look at their practice report. It's these guys, Penei Sewell missed time. I think they all probably go, but I don't think they're going to be 100%. And you got to be with the way this Eagles – with Jalen Phillips now, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, and you have depth options in Jalix Hunt and Brandon Graham. Like, this is – I think this defense has a chance to be better than last year's defense.
I was just talking. I like the Super Bowl champion defense might be back for Philadelphia for sure.
100%.
Sean, where can they go watch your NFL show?
Yeah, we just picked every NFL game against the spread. Been doing that since 2011. Wow. I'm getting old, but check out our YouTube page, Sports Gambling Podcast, or audio wherever you get your podcasts. Just Google Sports Gambling Podcast. Can't miss us. Sauce, always appreciate you having me on, man.
Yep, and that's how you spell it right there, Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Also, College Experience. There are a bunch of them over there. So that's how you would find their show, Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Just type it right into the search like that. Sean, awesome. Enjoy your night, man.
Thank you. Let's go.
All right, let's talk some college football. And I got to apologize. Normally, how we do it is Duck sends in some games, and then I add some to the list. But the last couple days for me, I had things popping up, and I just had so much to deal with. So it's going to be a little bit shorter. We only have 6 games to go through. And Duck should be popping up on the – hey, what's up, man?
How we doing?
Everything's – I just had a great weekend. So I have a lot going on that is stressful. But as far as the I'm on some great numbers for the weekend. I'm coming off a great week. As far as my vibes, high. Just very busy.
Love it. Yeah, that's a good way to be, though, at this time of the year. We got 3 weeks left to make a little money in the college leagues before the bowl games and FCS playoffs start. College hoops is ramping up. We're firing away on a lot of games there. It's a fun time to be alive in the betting space.
It is a fun time to be alive for sure. Couple interesting choices in your text message here, including this one. So I don't know what the angle is for Minnesota keeping this one competitive. Maybe they can put up a fight in terms of physical against the run, but in my opinion, Oregon wins this game by however many they want. But maybe there's a look-ahead spot. So I'm interested where you're about to take this.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, what do we think that Oregon's going to be able to do here? They're banged up on the offensive line. They got a couple of weapons out. I don't think they're dying to rush these guys back from injury to try to blow out Minnesota here. And the Ducks just have not covered these spreads really all season. So it's hard for me to want to go to the window and lay 4 touchdowns here against a Minnesota team that has been pretty feisty. Now, they had a real clunker against Iowa a couple of weeks back, but since you look at the totality of the season, they've played a lot of these teams pretty close. I just don't know. I think it's an under game. Minnesota's offense has just performed so poorly situationally, specifically on the road. Road environments have been tough. At Ohio State and at Iowa have been pretty tough for the Gophers this season. But I just don't know. You look at a couple data points here. When you're not playing Rutgers, and you get a 2-point win against Iowa, you've got a slog in the rain against Wisconsin. You lose the game against Indiana that you hosted. You win a squeaker against Penn State. You win a squeaker against Northwestern. I mean, I don't know. I just hard to lay 26 here. I mean, yeah, I think the way I think I'm going to handle this is Oregon money is going to pour in, and it'll pour in until 10 minutes before kickoff. If we see 27.5 or 28, I might actually take a stab here with Minnesota. I think this group, I think there's a total look-ahead spot, like you had said. The showdown is next week. The showdown is next week.
Yeah.
And when you look at the injury report here for the Ducks, there are major, major players that are out. You look at Moore, the receiver, who didn't play last week. You look at Sadiq, the tight end, who was out. You've got guys on the offensive line that were banged up, a corner. You got a linebacker that's questionable. These are major contributors on this team here. So I think Oregon wins this game. I think they're really comfortable winning this game by 16-18. No need to pour it on here. The showdown is next week.
So in terms of the under, I don't think Minnesota gets the 10. So maybe I can get there on the under. I don't know how Minnesota's going to move the ball. If you want to make a case for Minnesota's defense generating some spots, I can get there. The defensive front is tough. I'm a little worried that Minnesota had one of their main corners get injured in pregame warmups against Michigan State. I don't even know if he's coming back. And this isn't a secondary I think is particularly good. But if you want to sell me on that you like Minnesota's defense to go in there, Oregon's a little banged up, okay, I can hear that. Minnesota's defense making some stops. I don't know how they score a point in this game. That offense is awful. I don't even know if Darius Taylor is going to play. I don't even know if I would trust them to move the chains with Darius Taylor. In their road games this year, their success rate is under 33%. They're averaging under 7 points a game. Under 7. They're averaging 6.7 points per game in their 3 road games. They got beat by 2 touchdowns by Cal. I think this offense is terrible. Yeah, and you know what? It wouldn't surprise me at all if Oregon were to kind of jump on them a little early. If it's 14-0 after the first quarter, you could probably catch a plus 42.5 or plus 39.5 live. So that might be the direction we go here. That is, I actually said something similar to that. I said I was trying to think of ways to get to Minnesota, and I said, hey, the strength of Minnesota is the front 7. So maybe if Oregon gets out to a lead with a big game on deck, they're just going to hand the ball off and they're unable to tack on anymore. So I'm not mad at that, at a live Minnesota once Oregon gets up 2 scores. I could see that because at some point Oregon's just going to hand the ball off, and Minnesota has been pretty tough against the run at times. So, yeah, that's a tough one. And even their last game against Michigan State, their post-game win expectancy in that one was, 5%? They had no business winning that game. Offense is a real struggle here. I'll be interested to see how the defense competes. Yeah, their offense is rough. Now we got at first I was like, about this game. Now there's a couple things I'm considering here. So go ahead. Let's hear what you're thinking first, and I'll let you know if I agree. Well, did you hear the presser with Narduzzi this week? Yeah. He was like, this game doesn't matter or whatever. Yeah, I mean, he was asked if this game was a must-win, and for those listening in who didn't hear, he said, absolutely not a must-win. It's not an ACC game, doesn't matter. He literally came out and said, I don't care if we lose 100-0. The games we need to win are the next 2. I mean, he's not wrong. No, but you cannot ignore a comment. You just cannot ignore a comment like that. And you're going to line up against a Notre Dame squad that is in must-win mode and must impress. If they lose again, they're done. And you talk about this Notre Dame defense. They have been absolutely lights out the second half of the season. The offense is explosive, 5th in rush explosiveness, 8th in finishing drives. Going to be able to run the football here in this one. You look at the PItt D, 132nd nationally in explosiveness given up, 97th in finishing drives, 118th in rush explosiveness. Pitt's really feasted off some bad ACC teams in recent. Florida State, Boston College, Syracuse, NC State, Stanford, just not even in the same realm as Notre Dame here. This defense for Notre Dame is absolutely going to be the difference. The quarterback that Pitt's deployed out there hasn't really looked great the last couple of weeks. Came on the scene real strong, but has not looked great the last couple of weeks. I'll be honest with you, this is my margin call of the week. I took Notre Dame at minus 10.5. I took alternates at minus 13.5, minus 19.5, and minus 26.5. Notre Dame's going to score however many points they want. You just can't. That's how they're going to prepare. Pitt's going to prepare in such a way that they don't care. Their head coach doesn't care. They've said the game doesn't matter. It could be really ugly for Pitt this weekend. Okay, so I 50% agree. I think it is going to be ugly for Pitt offensively because what you said about Notre Dame's defense, you're not wrong. We remember when everyone was concerned about Notre Dame's defense earlier in the year. That's ancient history because they got their big-time star corner Leonard Moore back, I want to say like 4 or 5 games ago. This defense is playing as well as any defense in the country. In their last 5 games, they're allowing less than 12 points per game, 4.3 yards per play. They played Navy, USC, NC State could even score, Boise. It's not like they're playing cupcakes. This team is seeing decent to even good offenses and still putting up good defensive numbers. So Notre Dame's defense right now is playing as well as any defense in the country. Like I mentioned before, their star corner was out. He came back. Their other corner, Christian Gray, he's set to return as well. And then with their third corner, Dallas Golden, he came back a few weeks ago. We're going to see Notre Dame with their top 3 corners on the field for like only the second or third time all year. So not only is Notre Dame's defense playing elite, they're healthier as well. They're still missing a defensive tackle. That's it. So the Pittsburgh's quarterback after that flashy electric start definitely leveled off. I think he turned the ball over 4 times at Stanford or something like that. So I'm all on board with Notre Dame shutting down Pittsburgh's offense. Desmond Reed is cleared to come back, but I think they're just going to get dominated on the line of scrimmage. So I think Pittsburgh's offense is really going to struggle. But I don't know about the whole Notre Dame's going to score as much as they want. I don't know if I agree with that sentence. I still think this Pittsburgh front seven is very, very good. They're very strong against the run. They were very strong against the run last year and brought a lot of their pieces back. They're also healthier. Kyle Lewis came back last week after being banged up. Rasheem Biles, their other injured linebacker, he has a chance of coming back. That's not confirmed. So they're also healthier. And here's where I disagree. I think Pittsburgh's defensive front can put up a fight. They're also healthier at corner than they were earlier in the season. When we're talking about that interview from Narduzzi, it's a question of what? Motivation, right? So we're saying, the coach came out and basically said this game is meaningless. I get it. Are we really going to say that Pitt isn't going to be motivated for a home game? Ready for this? It's a home game against Notre Dame. College game day is there. They're retiring Aaron Donald's jersey at halftime. It's the first top 25 matchup versus top 25 matchup in Pittsburgh in like 7 years or something. I find it hard to believe that just because Narduzzi said that in an interview that this team isn't going to be motivated. I think that defense is going to be fired up. So I would go under. And it's supposed to be a chance of thunderstorms and rain and wind. So the weather concerns here as well. I would go under. I do agree that Pitt's offense is really going to struggle. And I guess if he forced me to pick a side, I probably would lean towards the Notre Dame side because I could see the turnovers. But yeah, I would go under.
You need a live button on this show so we can hit the live button together. Pitt's team total is 21.5.
Well, it's Cade Bell calling the plays. They run so goddamn fast.
I don't see how this is.
Oh, no, I agree. Well. I'm just saying that's probably why it's high because they move at such a. I agree with you. I'm just saying that's why you're getting a team total at 21.5 because they move so fast. But if Notre Dame's going to be holding on to the ball, you also said you were expecting explosive plays, though. I don't know. I think Pitt's defense can make them work for it.
Yeah, they've given it up against the run, though, with some of their guys out. They had all 3 of their linebackers out for some time and gave it up. So we'll see. The first sign of adversity, too, though. I mean, who knows how Narduzzi is going to manage this game. He could get those guys out of there so fast if one of them gets hurt.
They're not going to get steamrolled with Aaron Donald's jersey retirement, man. For Aaron Donald?
I don't think that matters here.
All right. Air Force UConn. Is this really 7 now?
Yeah, it was like 8.5. Went down to 6.5.
No, I know. It went down from 8.5 to 6.5. It came back up. Surprised at that.
Yeah, and this was a spot I had circled as a bad spot for Air Force earlier in the summer, but I had assumed that Air Force was going to be vying for a little bit of a better season, possibly had already had bowl eligibility locked up. They've lost so many close games this year, but you look at how this team has played and they've been really, really close. UConn just a major play up, play down team. You look at the efforts that they've had in the ACC games this year, played a game of their life last week against Duke, and you look at how they played against Syracuse, you look at how they played against Boston College, games that are really meaningful to this program. Well, what do they do the following weeks? They lost to Syracuse in heartbreaking fashion. They go out and lose to Delaware on the field. They throw up a complete stinker against Ball State. Well, then they rally the troops and beat BC. Very next week, they go on the road and lose to Rice. Embarrassing. Well, they went absolutely max effort to beat the Dukies last week. And you got Air Force coming to town now, and Air Force is still vying for bowl game eligibility, which is not that out of the realm of possibility given the fact that they host New Mexico next and then finish up against Colorado State. I think it's a max effort here for Air Force. I'm really worried about the UConn run defense and how they have to defend against the unfamiliar scheme of the option. I like what Liam Zarka's done, completely controlling this Air Force offense. Ground game played really well last week against San Jose State, which is a tough task given that Navy Ken is there and knows how to defend it. Air Force peaked about this time last season, and I really think that they have a chance to really make a late season push here. So you're getting a free touch. You can't give these guys 7.5 points. Are you nuts? I took the Falcons here. I think they can win this game on the field.
Could not agree more. Agree with every single word. I would probably make this game like 4 to get 7. Yeah, I'll be joining you on this one. This was one where I looked at, but because I had so much going on, by the time I looked at this game, I had already missed it. So I was like, but yeah, it's 7.5 now. So I'll join you on this. Yeah, could not agree more. This UConn team has been on a seesaw pattern. Now, I know the main concern and the main pushback on a play on Air Force here would be UConn can throw the ball. Fagnano's he's a good quarterback, and Air Force on paper has the worst pass defense in college football. So that's obviously the concern. How are they going to make stops? Well, this Air Force defense, look, I'm not trying to tell you it's good or anything like that. They did get one of their starting defensive backs, Levi Brown, back last week or 2 weeks ago, I should say. It looked a little bit better in their last 2 games. It's still not good. Last week against San Jose State, you got to keep in mind that San Jose State turned the ball over 3 times, but they just went on the road and played a pass-first offense and held them to 16 points, although the defensive metrics look terrible in the game. It's not necessarily that I think Air Force defense is going to make stops, even though I do think they're a little bit better than the numbers show. It's on the other side of the ball, like Duck talked about. How is UConn getting Air Force off the field? This is a defense that pretty much lost all of their starters in the defensive front from last year. They're struggling badly against the run. They're 130th in success rate per run. What does that mean? It means the defense cannot get off the field. You hand the ball off, the defense cannot get off the field. And that's exactly what Air Force does offensively. They run that option. What is the wing T? Oh, no, that's Navy's, the wing T, right? What's the name of Air Force?
This is a conventional flex bone triple option.
Okay, right. And that's what they do offensively. You can't get them off the field. So Air Force can hold on to this football as long as they want. Keep in mind, Rice also mentioned that UConn doesn't have a lot of familiarity with the option. That's true. They saw Rice earlier in the year also runs an option. What happened? Rice rushed for 300 yards and beat him outright. They rushed for 300 yards. Rice's offense is nowhere near Air Force offense, not even close to as good as Air Force offense. They beat UConn outright. What was the line in that game, in the Rice-UConn game?
10.
It was 10. Yeah, they beat him outright. So, yeah, and one thing UConn's defense has done a decent job is limiting explosives. So that's why I can't get the over. Because I wanted to get the over, but UConn's actually done a good job limiting explosive plays. So the Air Force scoring drives could be like 7-8 minutes long, which is why I don't want to hit that over up at 63.5. But I agree with every single word. I think Air Force can win. So, yeah, let's do it. Falcons. Next up. What are you about to say in this game? I had to double check the text. I was like, that must be a typo. He did not say New Mexico State, Tennessee.
Yeah, and this is my absolute favorite spot of the week. Drop the hammer on the Vols. And let's break it down. I'll tell you why. First of all, this is a complete lay down and die spot for New Mexico State. Losers of 4 games in a row. A lot of them have been close. Bowl game eligibility dashed after being so close all season to breaking through. Tennessee fresh off the bye week. They're really going to want to get some good reps before letting the twos mop up the second half. Let's look at how Heupel has handled these exact same situations late in the season against inferior competition. Last year, laying the same number against UTEP, 56-0. 2023 against UConn, 59-3. 2022 against UT Martin, 66-24. And 2021 against South Alabama, 60-14. If you think Tennessee is just going to take this game lightly and sleepwalk through it, absolutely not happening. They've never done that under Heupel's watch in this exact same spot. New Mexico State's defense giving up 400 yards each of the last 4 weeks, 66% completion percentage allowed with 19 passing touchdowns against, 120th in early down success rate allowed, and 84th in pass explosivity given up. Tennessee's offense should accrue 600 yards here, and they should put up any amount of points they want, 56, 59, 63. This number should be 49.5, not 39.5. You got to lay it there with the Vols.
Wow. So, I mean, I don't disagree. My pick for the game was over. and I said Tennessee could probably go over this by themselves. I don't think it's crazy that Logan Fife connects with TK King on something. Tennessee's secondary has been really vulnerable all year, and the talent from these two teams aren't even in the same discussion. But the one thing New Mexico State can do is we've seen them connect on a few big plays, and we saw in that Sam Houston game they flashed some of that big playability, and Tennessee's secondary isn't very good. But yeah, I mean Tennessee should score on every drive. I don't think that's even. They should score on every drive. And New Mexico State, they're a passing offense, so maybe I'd go over, but I mean, it's tough to argue. He's right. Tennessee doesn't, they don't mess around with these.
Yeah, and it's just like the early season spot. You look at how Georgia or Texas A&M or some of these other teams handles the early season inferior foe. Well, Tennessee is the exact opposite how those teams do it. Georgia's completely okay winning 35-10. But you look at Tennessee, 72-17. They always try to pound these teams into oblivion. There's a real motivation here to score at least 50 points, likely a lot more. I just don't see a path to New Mexico State even really keeping the starting platoon in. They play their major rival, UTEP, next. At the first sign of, like, hey, we're done, they're going to be packing it in and getting all the good players out quickly.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Lay down and die spot. Like, this is one you can feel really good about laying the big number.
Kenny Varner. Kyle's going with former Grizzly quarterback Logan Fife.
Yep, Logan Fife was at Fresno, and he did play at Montana. We know Kenny. Kenny has hit us up a couple times. Big Grizzly fan. I think the Grizzlies are going to put up a good showing against Portland State next week in preparation for GrizzCat. We'll talk GrizzCat next week on the show for Kenny.
Yeah, well, I think Portland State's going to give him a game.
You're just saying that to get Kenny riled up.
Yeah. Watch, he'll go off now in the comments. How could you say?
GrizzCat is an exquisite FCS game. For anyone who doesn't follow FCS football, put that one on next week because GrizzCat is a really, really Brawl of the Wild, they call it. That's a really good game.
Yeah, Montana State you're talking about, right?
Yep.
Montana State's live in that. All right, so this one I got to say. So it is finally coming down. Finally. When I took this at plus 6.5, I thought I made a monster. I thought this was going to close like 3.5. Now, obviously, it still can, but it's hanging up there. So, in fact, Pinnacle still has a juice 6.5 up. So, this number didn't do exactly what I thought it was going to do. I'm on the Tar Heels. I don't understand how you put more than a point or two gap in their power rankings between these two teams where it should be 6.5. Yeah, North Carolina's offense is a mess, but Wake Forest's offense is terrible. Obviously can't be mad at an under here as well, but it looks like the market's on top of that with 39. Are you part of the influence keeping this number up?
No, and I think North Carolina has a really decent chance to win this game outright. So, you're doing the money line round robin or whatever else. I think you throw the heels in there. It's really a coin flip game, and I've been really impressed with North Carolina the last month of the season after they just got pounded at home against Clemson on October 4th. You look at the last four very, very spirited efforts, competitive games against California and Virginia. Virginia game of inches. Difference between winning and losing, living and dying, right? It's like they get that 2-point conversion down to the 1-inch line. It was ruled that the guy didn't get in. Otherwise, they would have won that one. Beat Syracuse handily. Good win against Stanford. This team's really coming around. We're starting to see some of that coaching on defense really pay off with the pursuit, taking better angles, wrap-up tackling, all those different things has been really, really good. We saw Wake Forest last week against Virginia. This team didn't score an offensive touchdown. They averaged 3 yards per play while achieving just 12 first downs, 203 total yards. The Deacs had 2 drives where they moved the ball 50 yards or more. The rest were punting possessions. This offense for Wake Forest, 121st in success rate, 90th in EPA per play, 98th in havoc surrendered, 125th in passing down success. So you get to 2nd and 10 or 3rd and medium or worse, and you're not throwing out of it. It's just not going to happen. For all the things that UNC does poorly, their defense and their pass defense is not one of them. I look at UNC. They've allowed 300 yards or less in all 4 of their most recent games. They have forced their opponents to 66 third down attempts. This shows me that this team is having success in early downs. They're getting teams off the field. I really doubt we see another defensive or special teams touchdown from Wake. And the last thing that we'll bring up here, the play is Wake Forest team total under. Anything 20, 21. I got it 22.5, but take the under. If it's anything over 20, Wake Forest team total under. Wake Forest has the absolute worst red zone efficiency in the Power Four. 29 red zone attempts this season, 10 have been touchdowns. 9 field goals, 10 empty possessions. They can't score in the red zone. They kick field goals. They get turned away with 0 points. They're not going to surpass this team total. I don't care who they're playing. So Wake Forest team total under is what I like here.
Yeah, I completely agree. I didn't bet the team total under. I'm on North Carolina at 6.5, and just like you said, I think they could win the game. Wake Forest defensively, excellent. Now, I'm not going to try to poke holes in it, but North Carolina has the better offense in this game, which is crazy to say because North Carolina's offense isn't very good, but they have the better offense in this game. And I think the perception of North Carolina is just so skewed by some of the early performances that it's flying under the radar that this North Carolina team doesn't look bad at all. In fact, if it wasn't for a couple late game weird situations, they fumbled on the 1 yard line, then they went for 2 and got stopped about 4 inches short. If it wasn't for those 2 weird plays, we could be saying North Carolina has won 4 football games in a row. So, yeah, I don't understand how this could be. And look, I'm not naive enough to think I have the market beat by 4 points, but I don't understand how this is even more than a field goal. It should be 3.5 max. This game's going to be 14-13 final score. I don't know how either team would be laying 6.5. So, yeah, I am surprised this one hasn't come down. Like I said, when I first placed this, I thought this was going to be a monster. I thought this was going to fall like the stock market or something. I thought it was just going to come crashing down. It looks like you still can get a 6. So as of right now, it's not nearly as good as a bet as I thought it was going to be, but there's still time.
Yeah, you got to look UNC or not and get it in early because it's not going to go back to 7.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, I agree. And this one, my only actually, we shouldn't say that yet because the market's still open. But as of right now, it's looking like the only bad wager I placed this week. But we'll see. I got a bad number in this one. I think I made it. You know what, Duck? I think I made it in an emotional decision. So last week, I was big on TCU. I thought it was an excellent spot. Got a great number. And obviously what happened last week, what TCU did last week was so offensive. That performance against Iowa State was so ugly. I don't know what's going on with Hoover. The offense doesn't seem as crisp. Usually Hoover's getting the ball out of his hands quickly. He's not at all. They were getting run on, which I thought was a strength of the defense. Iowa State was running the ball on them, sustaining drives, just didn't resemble anything that I thought this TCU football team was. And at first, you look at the West Virginia game where TCU nearly lost to West Virginia, and it was like, you know what? It was in Morgantown, tough place to play. West Virginia's trending upward. Didn't read too much into it. But now that we've seen that performance against Iowa State, you throw the bye week in there, all of a sudden it's been a month since we've seen TCU play a decent football game. So we're talking a long time. So I think it's been enough time. We might have to adjust TCU in our power rankings a little bit. I'm on BYU, but I got 4.5. So I admit that maybe I made an emotional decision here and bet this out of frustration at TCU. But I think BYU coming off that frustrating loss to Texas Tech in Lubbock, coming back home in Provo, I think BYU dominates this game. But I'm on a bad number, so maybe I shouldn't talk. Do you agree?
Well, I made an emotional decision too based off last week's result. Last week's result for me was I was high on Texas Tech. I bet that game almost every way you could. Texas Tech, I took an alt. I took BYU's team total under 18.5. I loved everything about it. And I am not willing to penalize BYU for the performance because we just knew they were not going to go out there and compete in that game against that pass rush. Well, I'm here to tell you, TCU doesn't have that pass rush. TCU is not going to cause the havoc that Texas Tech was able to do against BYU's offensive line. You're not going to see the deer in headlights look from Bachmeier in this specific game. I think BYU does rebound nicely here. You get the late game, Provo, November, you're laying under a touchdown. Like you said, TCU has just not looked right ever since losing against Arizona State. You got to go way back to September. They have not played good football. any step of the way. Colorado, they were tied at 21 with 6 minutes to go. They won and covered. I was on them that day, so it was fortunate, but that was 21-21 with 6 minutes to go in the fourth.
Yep.
Losing at Kansas State to jumpstart their resurgency. You squeak out a win against Baylor, but didn't look good. West Virginia game was sluggish. Last week was sluggish. And now you go to Provo where it's going to be bitch cold. And it's going to be horrific, dude. Less than 20 degrees, and you got to tackle those running backs in the cold when you're down by 13 in the second half, and you're going to have to try to throw it around with those kids who are not used to that. Absolutely no shot. I give TCU zero shot here. I look at TCU defensively, and I think BYU is so much better equipped to exploit this defense. TCU 112th in finishing drives, 124th in explosivity allowed. TCU has, you look at the offense, been kicking a ton of field goals. They're being turned away in the red zone. It's cost them badly week after week because they can't score touchdowns. Again, I'm not willing to detract anything that we saw from BYU because you just knew they weren't going to go in there and compete. You just knew that they weren't able to do it because of the talent on the other side. But if you look at all the advanced metrics, which you're into, you look at the PFF grades, TCU's defense is a good defense, but nowhere close to what we saw there. And now you get these guys at home. It's 3.5 right now. I'm going to the window right now for more. I love BYU this week.
Yeah, I'm on it too. I guess the number dropping lowered my confidence, but I agree. I mean, just think of the way you phrased it, bitch cold. Think of the type of football game we're going to see here. We're going to see a cold-ass game in the BYU elevation, and let's be real, BYU is probably going to win the line of scrimmage battle on both sides of the ball. So it just seems like they're just going to be the stronger, more physical team in their home environment. Just lean on them for 4 quarters, and that should land more than a touchdown victory, if you ask me. I think they should be in control of this football game start to finish. And it's just the type of football TCU plays. It just doesn't translate to the type of game BYU is going to play here. So I could not agree more. All right. Duck, where can they find you? Sorry, didn't have any extra games for us this week. We'll get back on track next week.
Yeah, I mean, is there anything else you want to talk? We got a pretty good slate there. Oklahoma, Alabama should be fun. You got any thoughts there?
Sooners are winning that game.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Certainly a chance. You give Venables the extra week off. And if you remember last year for Alabama, this Oklahoma game was the one that really knocked them out of the playoffs. The only team all season to frustrate Alabama the way they did was Oklahoma. And now you get the extra week off to prep for that. I think everyone's just crowning Oklahoma as dead, and Alabama is just going to walk away with this. But I don't think so. I don't see it that way at all. I think Oklahoma has a really good chance to go in there and compete for 4 quarters.
Yeah. I like the Oklahoma. I got a good number there. And I'm also on. What do you think of, you know what? Here's a game we should have added because we've talked a lot of Mountain West. Real quick, before you take off. Boise, San Diego State. I'm torn on it. I feel like we talked a lot of Mountain West here.
Yeah, and this is such an important game because the San Diego State loss would open up the door now for teams like Hawaii and Fresno State and some of these others to kind of creep back into the race. I think it'll look a lot different at home for San Diego State. To my credit, or not to my credit, to their credit, Hawaii has played so much better than I anticipated, and with their full arsenal of receivers, that team was very, very dangerous and remains so. You look at Boise State, their quarterback situation is a mess. They're going to roll the backup out there who looked terrible against Fresno. I just don't see it going well for Boise State here. I think there's market sentiment that's really kind of got a bad taste in their mouth for San Diego State after what they did last week. But it's a tough trip to the island, and you're lining up against that offense, and they have got their system with the run and shoot. I think that defense is going to rebound nicely. I like Boise's team total under. I like the full game under, and I like San Diego State to win.
I can get on board with an under. I want to take San Diego State because I've been big on them all year. It's just I did not expect them to be laying to Boise, that's for sure. So yeah. Duck, where can they find your stuff?
Yeah, so I'm at the Action Network. I do the G5 Deep Dive with Michael Calabrese, which drops on Wednesdays. We do a live show on Fridays at 2 p.m. on YouTube. I co-host the BetUS live show on Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 1 o'clock Eastern. And then midnight on Thursdays, I'm on your program every week. So it's exciting to have all that stuff going on. If you want to catch me, you can find me there. And itching to talk some college hoops here with you coming up pretty quick because that's been a fun start to the season there.
Yeah, yep. Gonna get college basketball rolling. That's his Twitter there on the screen. And yeah. Oh, and so that afternoon show, that's in 13 hours, right? You're talking about Friday afternoon as in the 2 p.m. that's coming up right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can catch him 12 and a half. Well, yeah, 13 and a half hours is his afternoon show over there on the Action Network. All right. We're going to talk some college basketball right now. I got Toast joining the stream. So, Duck, enjoy your night.
Yeah, sweep your slate, brother. We'll see you next week.
Later, man. All right. I think Trevor might be joining us. So let's switch over to 4. He said send me the link, so I think that means he's joining. How was your... Oh, I saw you got your Purdue bet.
Yeah, I took another unit home today. Just
some light.
I'm not trying, to be honest, after how bad last year was, like I think I'm up like 10 units or so this year.
I had a feeling because last year you killed baseball and lost college basketball, so I had a feeling after a bad baseball that
it's the roller coaster that we've been riding, bro. We've been doing this for a long time. Sean Green said 2011, and I was like, damn, respect.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Yeah.
Trevor, TV Jones hit a new rock bottom. He lost the bet and tweeted out that the game was rigged.
Did you not watch the end of that Kansas State game?
I had Kansas. I had them with Wichita moneyline parlay, so it all worked out for me.
Yeah, we had that too.
I did not watch the end of the game. I'm saying tweeting that's rock bottom. That's like
well, something needs to be done. Someone needs to take a stand because that was egregious. They weren't even hiding it. They weren't even hiding it. That they were losing.
They were kind of losing it all second.
They were up 18.
It was slow.
Wait, what? They were up 18, and then what was the final score?
They were up like 20, and then they just now we can't hit free throws. Oh my God, Cal's in the game, and they're going to cover.
That's what you get for picking a team with zero grit.
Grit. They were I have no idea how they play that game.
So I don't know if Spoon's joining us. So let's switch it over. Let's get TV Jones over on the 3-person. We'll rock with 3. Usually this might be a little late. Spoon can rock till about 12:30.
There he is.
Oh, here he is. I take back what I said. This is not too late for Spoon because he just joined the stream. You got your nap. He got his nap in, he said. All right. So it's Friday. For those of you that are not big in the college basketball scene, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays are the big day. Friday, not exactly monster slate because everyone plays on Saturday.
Tomorrow.
Well, IU Indy's live. We're starting with
Obviously.
For those of you that aren't college basketball people, IU Indy's one of the most proud programs in the entire country. Some teams just have that it. IU Indy has it. They're a team. They overcome adversity. This team's bus caught fire. Everyone was doubting them. We've also seen them in spots where the whole world was against them and they prevailed. This is just a team that has it. So IU Indy is the move for me.
Also, they're getting a lot of love on social media, rightfully so. But just remember, we were on this wagon last year. We're in the front car.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I remember.
I'm the conductor.
Yeah.
Didn't we have the money line against like Cleveland State or something last year?
Yeah, we hit it like IU Indy was a wagon for us, and I'm not
Youngstown State.
No, Youngstown State is when we hit the big money line on beer night. Remember? And they were losing, and they were losing, and they hit that 3. Like we were like cursing. We were like,
in the corner. Yeah, they were down 20, and then they came back in the corner with the last shot of the game.
It's crazy that you remember the exact 3 I'm talking about in the corner, right?
Oh yeah, in the corner, bottom of your screen, pull up, splash. Yep.
What a game!
In the gym that's only got 7 rows of bleachers.
Oh yeah, and the track looks like a YMCA. They got the walking track up top for the old folks to get their exercise in.
Oh, you gotta love it.
Any of you gentlemen care to step in front of the IU Indy train?
No, I'm just going to continue to play overs with this team until they give me a reason not to. It's obviously a huge number. I don't really care. So
this is crazy number.
So yeah, here's their game scores. They're so far this year: 118-102, 94-90, 112-80, 121-77. This team, all they want to do is run and gun up and down the floor. Is an absolute nightmare, but it is so fun to watch. Not that Eastern Michigan is some crazy good offensive team or they run a crazy fast pace either, but IU Indy just takes teams and put them in a complete blender. Not to mention the fact that did let Pittsburgh score 78 against them. So it's not like this Eastern Michigan defense is anything special either. But again, it's more about just how IU Indy plays baseball for me, or basketball for me. It's over.
TV Jones?
Yeah, it would be IU Indy with the points for me. I just think they got too much offense to get run out by Eastern Michigan here. I think Eastern Michigan will score too. I mean, a 186.5 total, just out of principle. I'm not doing that. No chance in hell.
Don't do it.
I hope you get your 186.5. That would be probably the highest total I've ever seen in a college basketball game. Pre-flop. So IU Indy, the offense, the speed, they're going to keep playing. Eastern Michigan, his team did get caught for gambling last year, or at least allegedly. But maybe they come out and they win this game easy. But I don't think their defense is going to be able to slow them down. I don't think their offense is going to be good enough to really take advantage of that defense and run away with this one. So I took IU Indy plus the 6.
Spoon, an IU Indy sweep?
Yeah, I really like IU Indy here. They bring a coach from the NBA ranks who just all offense, no defense, as you would expect. I don't really know if Michigan can put enough points on the board here. Senior-led roster. They have one really good freshman, Hob. Looked really good in his first few games. Probably going to be one of the top freshmen in the MAC. I think they find a way to win this game, but it's going to be a few too many points for me. I haven't moved on this game.
Someone in the comments said the total was literally higher last game. I think he said opened. I believe what he said, because he said
well, I was going to say it opened 184 last time. It got bet up. I don't remember or maybe 183 or something like that. It got bet up, and then it was like I think it landed 184 or 185. So if you got the worst of the number, you lost. If you got the better of the number, you won.
Yeah, that's why he said pre-flop. He meant the
my bad. Hey, also, IU Indy heads to Green Bay Friday, January 9th. I will be at that game.
Wow. You get to see You get to see IU Indy live? Damn.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize
IU Indy.
I mean, if I'm being honest, I'd rather watch IU Indy than the Packers on Monday Night Football anyway. So
okay.
Now, you know what I would like to see? I would like to go to Montana and see IU Indy upset the Grizzlies live on their home field. All right. Illinois State, only 16.5. Bronny James went here.
This is my game. Another over. Over. I think I got 156.5. I think it's 157.5 now. This USC team is another one of those teams that's all offense, and I don't really think the defense is that great. I know that the defensive numbers so far are good, but they've scored 94 against Cal Poly, 114 against Manhattan, and I know that this Illinois State team usually has a little bit of name brand here, but I don't think that obviously they haven't seen an offense like USC so far. And I also think they're able to put up some points because, like I said, I think that USC's our defense is a little bit overrated with the teams that they've played. So again, it's just more of I'm going to continue to play overs with USC until I don't have a chance. What happened now?
Remember, you were like, I would rather see IU Indy play Green Bay than the Packers on Monday Night Football. Someone said, Serial Cat said, to be fair, Trevor didn't get a chance to see the Packers. For those of you that weren't here, Trevor got too blasted to get it. Well, no, his girlfriend did, not him.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't put this on me. I would have sat my happy ass right there.
No, I would have put her in an Uber and went.
Me and Kyle both had the same thing in a text message. I said I would have Ubered and I would have watched that game by myself and had zero problems with it.
Eagles Packers Monday Night Football. Like, yeah, she would have been in an Uber. I would have been take this young lady somewhere safe. I'll call you in 3.5 hours.
And I'm talking about my wife of 10 years, Trevor. Not even a question. Uber.
Hey.
Done.
Hindsight's always 20/20. You live and learn. You figure things out as you go.
You'll learn. Yes,
take her to the nearest Applebee's.
I'm young.
Take her to the nearest Applebee's.
That's I think that's like a block and a half away.
TV Jones, do you agree with toast over?
I don't hate it. No, I don't. I like the under. I think USC. Yeah, I do. I think USC. Serious? Yeah, I know Illinois State's really damn good. They're going to win projected to win the conference. I think this team's really experienced and they're old, but USC, yes, they're a new team, but they've got so much height and athleticism on this team that I think if Illinois State shots aren't falling, it could be a rough night. I think they're going to really struggle to rebound and get second chance opportunities and keep USC off the glass. I like USC minus the 16.5. the most here. I probably won't bet it though, but I still think USC, give it a full 40 minutes. Their advantage, their athleticism, their ability to rebound, I think is going to really take away from Illinois State and benefit them. So USC, but I'm not betting this.
Yes, they're going to score 100, Trevor. You're 100% right. And Illinois State will put up like 57, 58 points.
Well, I hope 58 for your
I got 156 and a half. That's why I said 157.
Oh, he got 156.
So in your hypothetical world, do you want to win your bet by a half a point?
Yeah.
I could care less how much I win it by.
That's true. A W's a W. Spoon, what are you thinking? Redbirds?
This is all USC for me. Illinois State's a good team, but the way Ryan Peterson runs this offense, it's really slow, like bottom 300 pace in the country. And USC is the exact opposite, just a top 25 tempo. They play really good defense, even playing that fast. I think the athletes are just going to be an absolute issue for Illinois State. This is a 25-point blowout.
All right, let's move on to a real conference, or at least half of a real conference. The Big East. Let's talk. Let's talk Friars here.
Let's talk Friar basketball.
Spoon, you got to go Friars here, right? Boulder's not that intimidating of an environment. Big East is a superior conference.
Yeah, I'm on Providence here. This is a spot where Providence had a little bit of a down year, kind of changing hands with Kim English taking over as the head coach. So far this year, they haven't had too tough a test with Holy Cross and Penn, but they did play Virginia Tech, a pretty good team. They took them to overtime on a neutral, 107-101. They lost that game. Providence looked really tough in that game. I think Colorado is probably the worst team in the Big 12 this season. Tad Boyle's gone to the tournament a bunch of times, had some really good rosters, but I think he's got a down year for talent this season. And while they do still have some hype there in Colorado, I don't think they have a ton of talent. I think Providence is going to come in and find a way to win this game on the road. Colorado, with that elevation, can be hard for some athletes to get used to. Put that into consideration, but I still really feel like this is a good spot for Providence. I think they should be laying more than this. Just that home court advantage is taking away a lot of the points. So just being able to get the money line here, I think is great value.
Agreed. Trev, you agree, right?
Yeah, I mean, can't really argue against it, but I'm on Colorado because
I was going to say, you texted me Colorado.
Pulled the old rope-a-dope on you guys. Colorado's winning this game. Providence is booty cheeks. Kim English is trash. This Providence team is absolute trash. Colorado is trash. But Colorado is at home. They have the elevation advantage, and then it's a Friday night. Boulder, what else are you going to do in Colorado? Smoke some weed, go check out the Buffs, beat Providence's ass down at home. So I think Colorado Friday night at home. Providence traveling, they suck. Kim English sucks. Not that Tad Boyles is much better, but I still respect him more than Kim English. And you're going to make Colorado a dog at home. Providence should be laying points on the road. Give me Colorado with the +1 here. They're winning this game.
Some sharp analysis in the comments from Kenny Varner. He said Colorado could barely beat the Kittens and Eastern Washington in the Big Sky. Wow, cold words from
Eastern Washington's man. Respectable.
Well, Kenny seems to like Providence. That's all I'm saying.
Best of luck.
Toast.
Buffaloes, Colorado for me. I think these teams are very even, but for me, I just think that asking this Providence team to travel across the country, something that they haven't done this early in the season, and I don't know how long, way back in the Cooley days, I just think it's a lot to ask for these guys against the Colorado team. I don't think that they're that good either, but they are playing at home. That's where you want to play Tad Boyle teams. Both these teams play with pace. Colorado has a pretty significant, I wouldn't say significant size advantage, but they're a much bigger basketball team. I know that Colorado isn't super experienced, which was kind of sucks against a Providence team, but they do have multiple guys coming back as well. So it's not like their minute continuity is bad. I just think this is a decent spot for Colorado here. I think there's a reason that this game or this number is so short. Providence is 69 in Ken Palm. Colorado is 101. I just think it's a little bit closer than that. I'll take Colorado at home.
Sam Miller in the comments says, Trevor, the last thing my high ass is doing is going to a loud basketball arena. And then he attached a siren emoji.
What? I think it'd be pretty fun.
So I just want to give you guys an idea, if you're planning on betting Colorado, of the people you're listening to. Both of their analysis, Trevor said, I'm taking Colorado, and then immediately said, Colorado is trash. Toast said, I'm taking the Buffaloes, then immediately says, I know this isn't a good basketball team. There you go.
Yeah, Providence isn't either. I think they're very similar. And you're asking Providence to do something that they haven't done in years, is travel across the country and win a basketball game.
It's not across the country. It's midway across the
country. It's
not
across the country. It's literally like almost as far as you can get from Providence.
No, it's not. LA.
Where else are you gonna go? Seattle?
Farther west?
Another hour?
Do you know where Colorado is on a map? It's in the middle.
Yeah, I do. Where are they gonna play though? It's not where you can land a plane. It's who are they going to play?
USC?
Like I said, Seattle.
Anything on the West Coast, dude.
Yeah.
Yo, I don't think Toast knows where Colorado is.
No, I'm just saying the hour flight. I mean, it's still across the country. Like, what's the difference?
Another 1,000 miles?
1,000 miles?
Math isn't your
I'm waiting for Kyle to bring a map of the U.S. on the screen.
I'm about to. They show Toast that there are things west of Colorado.
Colorado's technically the South.
It's as far as
I didn't say that.
Said, no. What you actually said was that's about Colorado is about as far as you can get from Providence. No, it's not.
It is. How far else are you going to go? They're not going to go play Seattle. They're not going to play USC. Like, when's the last time they've been this far on the West Coast in the month of December or November? I'll keep going back. 22, 2021. Nope. I don't even see anything this side of the Mississippi. I don't know what you guys are talking about. That's as far as you can get from Providence.
I'm about to show you exactly what I'm talking about. All right.
California's in Japan.
This is all right. So here's Rhode Island. Red dot.
I'm not saying, I'm saying they're not going to go play a C.
Go get it. So I think what he needs to do is see a map. That's what it comes down to. And
okay, let me know the next time they play a team that's farther west than Colorado. Just let me know in the next 10 years.
They don't do MTEs or anything.
Here's the map. So the red dot on the right indicates Rhode Island. The other red dot indicates Colorado. You see all that space to the left of Colorado?
Can you put a red dot on the Bahamas? Where's that at?
I don't think it's pictured.
What does that have to do with anything?
Because that's their only other trip at an NTE or whatever that's like farther west in the Mississippi, I think. So I'm trying to figure out on the map, since I'm being so bad at this, where is this at? Because they keep on playing in the Bahamas. Clearly, they love the Bahamas.
Well, we said
that's east.
Well, shocker. That's a
my point exactly. Statement. Let me know when they get farther west than Colorado is my only point.
All right.
Ever.
So we've established that there are points west in the United States and Colorado. We got that. Now we're on to Arizona, UCLA. TV Jones. Oh, man, this is an awesome game. Well, actually, let Toast go first because he was gassing up UCLA this year.
I'll be on the Bruins personally. I already bet them plus 3.5 here. Let me pull up my notes really quickly because I thought for sure you're going to go to TV Jones first. I just think this is a get up spot for Mick Cronin. I know that we all saw what Arizona did against Florida in that first game. Obviously, they've had a couple games since then, so I know that that's fresh in our mind. And I do think that Arizona is a very good basketball team. But I think that it's going to be a completely different animal when you're going to be facing a UCLA team that plays very different basketball than you, and I think that they have the studs to do it and slow this game down to an absolute crawl. Obviously, Arizona likes to play fast and free. UCLA likes to play at one of the slowest paces in the country, and they obviously can play defense. And the thing that I love about UCLA the most, is not only do they have a whole bunch of guys coming back, the guys that they didn't have coming back that they brought in as, like, say, Donovan Dent is a senior guard. I mean, they're one of the most experienced teams in the country, so I trust them in environments like this. Arizona is a very good basketball team, but at the same time, I think that UCLA matches up very well with them, especially height-wise. I mean, everything that you would look at, I think that UCLA can match up with this Arizona team. And if I think they get them out of their element and slow this game down, I think it's going to be very frustrating for some of these Arizona shooters tomorrow night. So, like I said, I've already bet UCLA plus 3.5.
There's been 35 votes in on the poll. There's almost 300 people in here right now. We're finally getting the views back up. It's going to be a couple weeks between the shorts toast and me redoing the titles. There's like a 2 to 3 week waiting period. Finally getting some people back in here.
The shorts didn't do well today. Kind of pissed me off.
No,
anyway.
We were over posting, but whatever.
I know. I remember. Yeah.
There's 36 votes, 70% on Arizona.
Beautiful.
Everyone likes the Cats. TV Jones, are you one of those people that voted Arizona?
I liked Arizona when it was like 1.5. Now that it's climbing up, I kind of like UCLA. They like Tosa, ability to play slow. They have good defense. I know they had a scare against Eastern Washington, and they didn't look great versus Pepperdine. West Georgia was a 21-point win sweep. Not at home. This is at the Intuit Dome, whoever the hell plays there. So this is technically not a home game, but it's a neutral to manipulate rankings. But UCLA catching these points, Mick Cronin, he was all up in their ass for this one. Tommy Lloyd, great regular season coach. I like that. If this was like basically a pick 'em still, I would have bet on Arizona. But getting up to multiple possessions here, I'd be more inclined to catch UCLA with these points here.
Spoon, let's sweep the Bruins.
Absolutely not. UCLA beat Arizona last year. I think that was a great win for UCLA last season. If we go back 2 seasons, though, UCLA was really struggling. The slow pace they play at works really well versus your lower tier teams. Teams like Eastern Washington, Pepperdine, West Georgia. You're not going to sweat in those games, but Arizona plays a very high pace brand of basketball, and I think this is going to be a really difficult situation for UCLA. Yes, they bring in Donovan Dent, one of the best guards in the country. Yes, they return a lot of their talent like Bilodeau and Sky Clark, but I think this is going to be just an absolute issue come here. Like 10 minutes left in the second half, Arizona absolutely running up and down the floor, forcing as many possessions as they can for a team like UCLA that just really wants to sit there and value their possession every time. I think Arizona starts to open up this game. I think there's a reason this line's moving towards Arizona. I think this is probably a multiple possession win for them. Arizona minus 2.5.
Spoon, UCLA plays a slow pace.
Arizona plays a really fast pace.
They're not getting to 70 possessions. Mick Cronin will have a heart attack on that floor if this game touches 70 possessions. Mark my words.
So 2 years ago, when Mick Cronin was getting his job called for and they were losing every single big game they played, it was against fast-paced teams like Gonzaga, like Nova, that just wanted to push the ball. Mick Cronin, I'm not sure how you feel about him as a coach, but I think this is a terrible mismatch for him with a coach that likes to play this fast like Tommy Lloyd.
I mean, I'm not going to speak ill on Tommy Lloyd coming from Gonzaga, and he's turned this Arizona team around, but I would take Mick Cronin probably if you gun to my head.
What do you guys think about this angle from the comments? He says, you guys do know the cartel owns like half of Arizona. Does that affect?
Oh, I never even thought of that. Don't give a fuck.
I'm switching to Arizona. All right, everyone. Are you?
I got bonus play. Iowa minus 16. Lay it. They're gonna curb stomp Xavier. Xavier is bad. Hitting the road. Iowa, Ben McCollum wants to drill teams and get people excited and get that building sold out and packed again after what Fran McCaffrey did to those good people of Iowa. He's Ben McCollum's coming to bring him back in. So Iowa big, and I'm assuming Toast is going to talk about the other one.
Someone said I'm taking Arizona because it's closer to Colorado.
Okay, first of all, Trevor, that is a terrible bet. I might nuke Xavier tomorrow, and I already said this 2 hours ago. That number is absolutely insane, regardless of how you feel about that. We're about to find out tomorrow. WSU +9, WSU money line +400. Go Cougs. That's all I got.
Spoon, do you have a bonus bet?
Yeah, Iona laying the points versus Fordham. Since when do MAAC teams lay 6 points to A10 teams? It doesn't happen. It's because Fordham is terrible this season. Iona has a great coach, good roster. I really like what they bring to the table tomorrow.
All right.
I got some for that Fordham game. Fordham is rumored the FBI is sniffing around.
Yeah,
they are.
Yeah, they look like shit.
No, I know. Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
they were
it's
actually
very
there.
bad.
One of my good friends went to Fordham, and he has like a group chat with all his friends from Fordham. The feds were actually there. I don't want to speak.
Oh yeah, so this is an easy cap. Fordham is winning the game. They are going to show up and actually play and try to throw people off of their scent. A 5.5, that's it. They're barely sneaking past Wagner. You lose to NJIT at home. You're hitting the road, and now you're only catching 5.5 against Iona.
I want to be.
I don't think so.
I want to be clear about something that what I just. My friend sent me that in a text message. It's not a legitimate sort. Like, don't take that to the media.
Oh no,
like,
I mean this is catching that. This is catching up on Twitter. Like people are starting to ask questions.
No, my friend texted me that they were there, but I just wanted to after I said it, I was like, wait, hold on, guys. Like, I don't know. That's not like a verified source. I don't know. But all right, everyone. Thanks for watching. See you all tomorrow. There's a video up where I talk about the 2 Friday night college football games. First one's good, Louisville Clemson. So yeah, there's a video up if you want to check that out. Tomorrow, I don't know what we're gonna do yet. There's a million games on Saturday. We're not gonna go through them all. We might do something short and then go hang out at Trevor's channel because they do like the long stream on Friday night. So maybe we'll do like a quick 25-minute stream, and then Trevor. They're live for 4 hours on Friday nights over there. So
these aren't even the big slates right now. Wait until
it's not
January.
A big one? So yeah,
I mean it's going to be probably 70, 80 games, but once January hits and it's 150, that's when it gets real.
Yeah,
true.
They're literally live for 4 hours and they go through 135 games in the stream. But all right, everyone, have a good night.